gee. Okay, Restream has got freaking wrong today. Okay.
Hi, guys.
Oh, no, we're gonna go big. No, we're gonna go small.
Hi, Reggie. Hi, Tommy.
Okay. So Chris will not be here. She has unable to make it tonight. Okay. So, and I just want to sit here and just openly yell at Angie.
And you're in trouble.
Angie, what do you? What's your body temperature right now?
104.
All right. Do you think that Angie could like maybe take the night off? It would be okay. Would anybody think poorly of that if Angie took off because she's got 104-degree fever?
But I said I would be here to answer the questions on pricing.
Okay, so I'm going to say it. You know what would happen if I had a 104-degree fever? Do you think there would be a live stream tonight?
No.
No, there would not be.
But I said I would be here.
And I would say, I'm really sorry, but I'm running a 104-degree fever, and we're going to pass up tonight. Just saying.
Busted.
So busted. But, okay. So let's continue on. Angie is an adult, and if she can, if she wants to leave, she can go. If she wants to stay, she can stay.
Well, I said I would be here, so I'm here.
Okay, so we're going to talk about tisk Angie, tisk.
Yelled it everywhere.
Yes.
Right turn.
Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about pricing, right? And I'm really wanted to leave it up to Denise and Angie because they're currently grooming, okay? But there's still some basics that you should have as far as pricing is concerned, okay? And one of that is you need to know what the expenses is on your business in order to price appropriately. Now, you might get lucky, okay, and price appropriately without doing it, but you're really asking for the grooming gods to smile down on you.
When you get lucky up until you hire employees and you expand.
Yeah.
And then that's when you really learn.
Which is again why I'm leaving it up to these two, because when I first started, I didn't have that really in-depth business plan. You know what? You live and you learn. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have that initially, but I wanted to be higher priced than, of course, the shops. I was already the highest priced shop in the area, and I was corporate, by the way, and I was the highest priced shop in the area. But I still needed to be higher than that. All right. For the most part, it was anywhere between double and triple the pricing of grooming that the area was used to. And I'm going to tell you, I got really lucky that it worked out well for me, because then as I increased my prices over the years, I was already high enough to counteract any stupidity on my part for not planning properly and doing that business plan right out of the gate.
I'm the one who screwed it up from the get-go and learned. So that was me. When I opened, I didn't have any business background. I mean, really, I was in a toxic environment, and it was the next step. So, I just based my prices off of what they were in the next city over. What I knew, I just reverted to what I knew. I didn't really know my expenses. I didn't know any of that. And I was lucky. I was the lucky one. But I ended up, it was when I got employees, when I learned my lesson. And I'm like, yep, something's got to give. This isn't sustainable. So,
All right.
When I opened, I had taken one of Mary's courses, and she said business plan, like Reggie said, business plan, put together a business plan. So I spent like a month learning how to do a business plan because I didn't know.
Right.
I had no idea. I'm like, all right, Mary, so I got to do a business plan. How do you do a business?
Learn from my
No.
mistakes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I did. I did a business plan, and I was like, oh, wow. I was off by like $20 a dog. Ugh.
Mhm.
So we started out good, just because Mary said that I had to do that, and Mary knows things. So I listen to Mary.
Not when she tells you to get off of here, you're not listening. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I know there's like this selective.
Selective listening.
Yeah, but this is a minor infraction. She won't hit me for this. If I didn't do a business plan, oh, we'd be having a chat.
Yeah. So my pricing for positive educational training, that pricing is based on numbers. Right. When I am setting up the retreats, which the first one's going to be in July, all right, it's going to be based, the pricing is going to be based on numbers. Right. So, and anything I do now is based on numbers, but I didn't do that initially. Okay.
Mhm.
Like I said, I got lucky in that anytime, and in fact, since I always had that, I need to be the highest. Anytime a new mobile groomer came in and they matched my pricing, I went up $5. You know,
There you
so
go.
like I said, I got lucky. Very simple formula. All right, you need to know what your expenses are. All right. The problem is you don't always know what your expenses are, and you have to do a guesstimate on it. The IRS has a publication. It's IRS publication. I think it's 535. It's like 65 pages long. I don't recommend that you actually download it unless you got paper and printer to spare. But in it, it lists all what the IRS considers to be, deductions. Run through that list. Make sure you're like, oh, I didn't know I can do that. You know what? I'm looking at getting my stuff ready for taxes. And for some reason, I did not add Wi-Fi to my expenses. You know what? I need Wi-Fi. So before it goes off to my accountant, there's a little note. Hey, my Wi-Fi expenses were this for the year. I forgot to add it in. Add it in for me when you were figuring out my taxes. Okay. But and besides that, there's all sorts of funds. All right. Your expenses have to include your salary.
Mm.
All right.
With vacation.
What was that?
With vacation.
Yes.
You're adding in extra for time off.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
So your vacation time, your education fund, your emergency fund, your capital expenses, those are the big things for like mobile groomers. That's our tires and our brakes. Okay. For a building, that could be who's responsible for the furnace. Okay. So
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. So whatever is those really big tickets, you need to plan accordingly. So I knew brakes and tires should be replaced every 2 years. So that amount broken to, divided by 24 needed to be added to my monthly expenses. Okay. Or if I was doing it by the year, okay, whatever. Okay. So, but the basic one is you have to end your retirement. Okay. So unless you want to work until the day they cart your dead body out from underneath the grooming table, you need to plan for your retirement. Okay. Fortunately for me, and I grumbled the entire time I was doing it, I paid into Social Security. Okay. And while it's not much, I mean, it will be monthly money coming in every single month. All right.
Sure.
Everybody's situation is different. See, I'm fortunate because my husband has a pension. Right. If you don't have pensions and this is all on you, you got to account for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when figuring out and I'm going to, go into vacation time. So just for math purposes only. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's say you total all of that up. Okay. And it's $100,000. Those are your expenses for the year. Okay. You're only going to work 50 weeks a year because you know what? You're taking 2 weeks vacation. Okay. So $100,000 divided by 50, which means you need to make $2,000 every week, and then divide that by how many dogs and how many days of the week. And that's going to give you how you get your pricing. And like I said, those are numbers for math. Okay.
Well, I had to take into account, I'm doing a lot of trade shows this year.
Mm-hmm.
So actually I have 8 weeks that I have to account for that I'm not going to be in the salon.
Mm-hmm.
8 weeks. That's 2 months.
Yep.
Yep.
So I had to account for that when I did my annual price increase. Now we have a sign that hangs in the waiting area, and it says, as of January 1st, due to cost increases, there will be a price increase. Thank you very much for retails management. That sign went up in 2018. It hasn't come down since.
Just do it the same time every year. So much easier. Yeah.
January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And I adjust for inflation.
Yep.
And,
So my price increases were April 15th, tax day, because that's actually the first day I started grooming. Okay. So my first day of grooming back in 2002 was April 15th. Right. And what I had always done for my increases, hey, I had a conversation with my accountant. Guess what? Prices are going up.
There's so many ways to take the emotion out of it.
Yes.
And it kills me seeing it on Facebook how people don't want to, but there's so many easy ways. It's just business. I know that we feel for our clients and stuff like that, but like it's just business, and just got to take the emotion out of it.
Well, here's the thing: is like the shampoo companies that I order from, they don't feel like devastated when there has to be a price increase. They're like, look, our costs went up.
Yep.
Because our costs went up, your costs go up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, you have a good product, so I'm willing to pay for the increase.
Mhm.
Ta-da.
Yep.
I mean, the other option there for like supplies is go to trade shows. I would pre-order stuff. All right. So fortunately, when I lived in Connecticut, we had Intergroom in April and Groom Expo in September. Okay. So 6 months apart. And I would just buy 6 months worth at a time and not have to pay shipping. Right. But you know what? You go into the supermarket and milk has gone up in price. I mean, look at eggs. Really? Did the supermarket ask us for our opinion on whether or not the price of eggs was going up? No.
All right.
Okay.
So Sarah asked, what if you need to make a significant increase, like $20? How do you handle that? I'm very nervous to do so. Some of them need to go up more, like $40 for some. Okay. Her doodles. Okay. So in that case, how I would handle that is quite simply, I just put up a sign. Due to rising costs, we've had to have a price increase. And when people come in, your new price estimate is a 2D, whatever it happens to be, $125 to $175 based on the condition, temperament, yada, 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 of your dog. And just be upfront. And if they don't want to stay because they're cheap, then that's not your customer. You're not losing anything. Not
Mhm.
every customer is your customer. Not every customer is my customer.
Mhm.
I am really, really picky about my customers. I want everybody on a 8-week maximum schedule. My bunnies book for all my people book for the year. My bunnies, my cats, my dogs, they book for the year, and I want them on a regular maintenance schedule because I don't want to do pelted animals anymore.
Mhm.
I'm old. Things hurt.
Yes.
And I'm not getting younger. I don't want to work that hard. I just don't. There are lots of young, eager go-getters that are like, I'll shave all the doodles. God bless you, sweetheart. You please take them all.
When we had a bigger price increase, because I had to adjust a lot around COVID time, right? Like all of that just went wonky. It hit right when we were going to do a price increase and stuff like that. So when we had to raise the doodles significantly, we did have what we did was we raised the price, and pretty much they knew price increases were coming. If they were significant, we still raised it. If someone said something, we would have that conversation of why it raised, and we would give a little grace knowing that it raised $20 to $30. But I'll tell you what, we raised some of the most of the prices. I would say 95% of them, no one said a word, raising $20 to $40 sometimes on some of these dogs. And I'm just like, if we try and hit everybody, it's going to get missed. We have receptionists, we have a lot of groomers. So we just did it and hope no one complained. And if someone did complain, we were empathetic that yes, it is a hefty increase. So we'll work with you. And next time it will be, we like split it in half or something. We're like, we'll do $10 this time, and then we'll do that additional $10 next time or whatever. So if you're that concerned, if they're good clients, that's one other way that you can try and do it too.
Yeah, my cats went up $20 in January.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody said, "Oh, okay, well, you're worth it."
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they see the value.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to answer Donna's comment here.
That's a fun one.
Have a bitch fit over $5. And this is what I have found. The bigger the increase, the less the complaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when I found back when I was so we were talking a couple of years ago, right? So my thing my increases generally were like around $5 for small dogs and then $10 for larger dogs. And none of the $10 ones complained or a whit about it.
Yeah.
All right. Some of the $5 ones are like, well, okay, so sorry to lose you as a customer. And then it was like, oh, wait, that's not what I meant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Give her to buy.
Okay.
Diana said, at the finish of the appointment, I say next time is X. And if they want to push the appointment, then it's X plus, because that's more work.
Yep.
So more work, more money. And yes, my credentials did improve as well. But I started the increase at January 1st, and I hadn't passed my international certified master cat groomer until like last Sunday. So I was hoping it would, but I didn't know. No guarantees in life, right?
All right. So now both of you have employees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Denise, you were mentioning that was you learned real quickly about your mistakes.
Yes.
So tell us, make us feel better.
Well, so yeah, I mean, if you're going to take on a beast of employees, you have to account for their salaries as well. And I always knew I wanted a support staff. I wanted my groomers to groom, I wanted bathers, and I wanted a receptionist. Well, that money has to come from somewhere. And guess what? You can't pay 50% and be able to sustain that business model. Just throwing that out there. So I needed to, I had to adjust a lot. I had to raise my prices and stuff. So you have to account for hourly wages if you're doing it that way. We all know I do, if you were here last week, I do hourly plus a production bonus. So you at least have to give your people, those type of things too. You have to budget all of that. So your prices have to reflect that. And if they have to be a little bit more because you have a staff, they have to be a little bit more because you have a staff. You owe it to your employees, to make sure they are taken care of.
Truth. Facts.
Mm-hmm. So make sure you're starting to do, if you're going to have a larger game plan, even if you're just starting out solo, start out higher. So then that way it's not as big of a huge jump or learning curve when you do add people. Employees are expensive. Just throwing that out there. They're worth it. I love it, but they're expensive. So you have to budget for it.
Yeah.
All right. And I just want to make just a quick comment for those who are sharing this live stream, I just want to say I appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you.
But also share it from personal profile, because my personal profile is public. If you're sharing from Pick Rumor Town Hall, it's not a public group. So, and there's Pooh Bear. Hold on. Ah, there we go. Oh, there he woke up.
Here. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's like, isn't it dinner time yet? Did I not get my dinner? Distinctly think I did not get dinner yet.
so like my pricing is all based off of my smallest dog.
Mhm.
Katie is 3 pounds, and she's a Chihuahua, Min Pin mix, and my soda can weighs more than she does. She's a wonderful little dog. I love her. We call her Mouse at the salon, and she's teeny, teeny, tiny. So Katie is $35. Well, how many Katies make up Valeska, the Doberman? The same coat type, short, tight. Well, quite a few Katies. And as far as work goes, Valeska's at least 2.5 times the amount of work that Katie is. She is a push button dog. She's trained to the nth degree. But so it's like, okay, so she's $85. And so then a lab that's smaller than Valeska, with a short, tight coat, not breed standard. Jack is 2 times, so he's 70. And then you go in the long hairs. So I have a teeny, teeny, tiny little Pomeranian, long hair, Bath and Eaton, and he is 55. Well, then it goes to the medium. So, say like a golden retriever is 85. And then the giant breed is 125. Like a Leonberger, Great Pyrenees, Newfoundland, and it's all based on the smallest one.
Mhm.
And then when you have a teeny tiny haircut, well, how many teeny tiny haircuts does it take to do a mini poodle? Like a Yorkie. Yorkie is $70. Mini poodle, it's $100. Doodle, it's 125 to 150. I stopped taking new dogs, so I don't have any giant doodles like the
Saint
Saint
Bernard doodles.
Bernard doodle. I don't have those because I did not want them because I'm old. And so it's all based on that. It's based on the lowest common denominator. And then you just multiply. And for my cats are a specialty service. So my cats are twice my small dog rate. So if it's a short-haired cat, they're twice Katie for Bath and Eaton. If it's a long-haired cat, then they're twice the Pomeranian. And if it's a bunny and it's a short-haired bunny, they're twice the short-haired dog. And if it's a long-haired bunny, because bunnies don't get baths, so I don't have to deal with that. But if it's a long-haired, so it's a haircut, then it's twice the haircut because it's a specialty service. I'm it, man. I'm the only game in town. So you don't have to pay me, but if you don't pay me, you're gonna pay a vet. And they're like $700, so I don't feel bad.
All right. So Donna wants to know if you go by weight at all. Does that factor in?
No. No. I mean, if they're chubby and they take more time, then I add more money because it takes more time. It's harder on my body. But I really just go by size. If the dog is difficult for whatever reason, be it they are overweight or they can't stand or whatever that factor is, like the kitty needs gabapentin to go to the vet. I don't do sedated pets they come in without sedation, that cat automatically is another groom price, another small dog groom price on top of that, because now we're talking difficulty. And it's not so much a weight thing, but if a dog weighs more, they cost more because they're more difficult. So it's a difficulty thing, really, not a weight thing. Because I have some very difficult, skinny, old dogs,
Mhm.
and they don't weigh anything, but they're blind and they're deaf. And, thank God that I have the equipment that I have. Um, Shameless plug, all for groomers, groomers well and tricks. If you don't have them, go get them. Um, but with the old blind dogs, it saved me from like diving across the table to make sure they didn't die. Um, and so that costs more money. And they're like old and bony and like
Mm.
yucky.
They
And,
take
and I want to make mention on specialty equipment. If you have to buy specialty equipment, okay,
Mhm.
that is a cost of doing business. Okay. And what also is a cost of doing business is that crazy 150-pound, I don't know, beast on your table that kicks off your clippers and now destroys your clippers. Okay.
Mhm.
All of that has to be figured into the cost of doing business. So it's not like, oh, I'm just going to eat the cost of the clippers. You know what? If you're buying new clippers, that figures into what your overall pricing is.
Yep.
So Donna asked, "What is your difficult price upcharge?" It depends. For cats, it's double. For dogs, it's depending upon the size. Smalls is another half. Mediums is another half. Large, and it depends on what difficult means, because yeah, okay, a point. I'm not familiar with the point system. I wanted to catch her live stream last night, but as soon as it started, I got a call, and so then I had to put out fires.
Okay,
Um,
in in a nutshell, what the point system is very similar to what you're talking about. How many mouses?
okay,
Okay,
okay. So same basic idea.
it's the
Um,
basic idea of you are assigning over the course of the day. This groomer can groom 10 points of dogs, but this groomer can only do 6 points. Okay,
no, I don't do prices by breed. Um, I list them on my website as weight for dogs. For
Mhm.
cats, it's just cat X to X, and top end X is like $250. And for bunnies, it's X to $250. Um, and I have charged it, and I have absolutely no issue. If you bring me a pelted rabbit or a pelted cat, oh, I'm going to charge you $250, and I'm not even going to remotely feel bad.
okay. So Amy has a comment. Jumps off the table and breaks your grooming arm table. Okay, and here's another thing about the pets that you're taking in. Is what you are making on this pet costing you money or is it making you money? All right.
Mm.
So the pets that habitually jump off tables, all right, maybe they haven't broken your grooming arm yet, but it's probably a matter of time before they do that. Is that pet going to cost you money? And the other thing is do thorough check-ins before you groom a pet. Because if a pet is not healthy enough to groom, and you groom this pet, right, and this pet dies or has a significant health issue on your table, that is going to cost you way more money than the price of the groom.
Mhm.
Preach it, Mary.
So, all right, if nothing else, please do a thorough check-in on those pets, and that includes gum color. Look at that gum color. Right.
So I don't do aggressive dogs anymore. I mean, the one that bites for nails is not a big deal, but like truly aggressive dogs, I don't do those anymore. Because as you can see, my finger, uh, I can point around corners without even trying. However, I can't. This finger will never be straight. A pit bull, broke it, dislocated it, chainsawed up my arm, and stopped because I had my hand here in front of my face, and he was coming up so fast, he punched himself in the face with my fist. That's the only reason he didn't continue on to my head. So I don't do those anymore. And I won't let my groomer take those. If a dog comes in and they're really aggressive, I say, okay, send them home because I don't want the liability. I don't want the workman's comp. I don't want to increase my workman's comp insurance. I already pay enough. So yeah, no, just send them home. Just send them home.
And if you are the groomer who takes those aggressive dogs, charge for it.
Yeah,
Like,
you
so-
should be charging out the wazoo.
right.
And I'm not sure where a wazoo is or necessarily what a wazoo is, but you should be charging out it
So charge more, way more.
way more.
Think what the cost of to replace your clippers or to replace your grooming arm or table because of this dog.
Or to never be able to straighten your finger again. I was an employee when this happened, so I didn't have any other options. But I'm not an employee now, and I don't want my employees to have to point around corners.
Okay, so what I'm going to say, if anyone has any questions, type them in now because we are coming up on a half hour and Angie is sick and I don't want to keep her here more than a half hour. Just saying. Okay, had a shepherd dump a hydraulic table. Oh my God, on her foot. Broke 2 toes at work for months. Ouch.
Ooh.
I think we
Extra for
all,
senior dogs. Yeah.
Takes
Yeah,
more
because
time.
it's harder.
It's more time and skill for seniors.
Yeah. And
Yep.
most of mine are seniors because I've been grooming them since they were babies.
Mhm.
But now that they're seniors, they're blind and they're deaf and they're
They
not necessarily in their right mind anymore. And I love them just the same. But yeah, that's a skill, man. You
Mhm.
should definitely charge more for that.
yeah, I specialize in seniors and I got referrals from vets. And in order for a vet to refer out to me, they had to have the talk with the client. And the talk went something along this. Mary is an expert in senior dogs or cats, okay? You're going to do what she says and you're going to pay what she wants and you're not going to question her. All right?
There you go.
So I would get those clients already with the talk so that when I told them how much it was and what I'm going to do, oh, Reginald, we know you're undercharging and we need to.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that because it is a skill set, and also not only that with the senior pets, they may not look very pretty when you finish. These are comfort grooms.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
It's what they can do.
yeah.
Right.
I call it the old lady. It's the old lady speech I have. You have to have the old lady speech because the vet is recommending you and they're already 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. And sometimes this is a client that you've had for a really long time. And I have this conversation before the dog is considered a real senior. So the dog is still healthy. It's still in good shape. Because if I wait and have that conversation and the dog is 12, 13, 14 years old, I'm going to have some crying on me. Because now I've pointed out the life expectancy. So I would start the dog, let's just say like a golden retriever, all right, 9-ish, okay? Hey, Bella or Casey, it's a golden, okay? Casey is getting a little older now, okay? She's still in really good shape, but I just need to let you know that at some point, grooming is going to change for her, and it's going to change for her because it's going to be more of a comfort groom, and it's going to be what she can tolerate. I also have a what I would call it. What did I call it? Grooming on the installment plan. Okay, so a grooming on the installment plan meant is that you know what, you have a more involved groom. Maybe this golden retriever is getting a puppy cut. Okay, but she can't do the entire groom. All right, not start to finish anymore. So grooming on the installment plan means, okay, well, you know what, today we do a bath, you know, brush her out, maybe dry her. We'll see how that goes. send her home. I'll come back in a couple of days when she's had a couple of days to rest. And then I will put the puppy cut on her. All right. But that is 2 separate grooms, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2 separate grooms and 2 separate pricing. Okay. Most of the time when you explain that to them, it'll be whatever you can do and one groom is going to be fine. Because you know what? Yeah, they'll pay, but they're not really going to pay ridiculous when it's really not that important to them.
Yeah. Now I do that with my cats, like the pelted
Mhm.
cats.
Oh yeah.
So they get the pelted shave, say Monday, and then Friday they come back for the bath. Okay, so they're like shaved down, all the other stuff is done. Friday they come back for a bath. You know how I ensure they come back for a bath on Friday? I charge them for it on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So you're welcome to not show up,
Yep.
but you're paying me the other $100. So it's $250 for the pelted shave. It's $100 for the bath. So you're paying me that on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly, no one's ever missed that appointment. Can't
Okay, so
figure out
Jimmy wants to know how much do we go up annually? At least $10, $15 now. All right, that's a loaded question.
It is. I love this one.
It's a
First,
loaded
yeah.
because you need to know what your expenses are and you know what it is. So that's where we do the business plan. So if you're going, oh my, I don't even know which show I'm doing it at. I think it's Tacoma. So if you're in Washington and you're going to the Northwest show, I am doing a class on business plans. Okay. But you
it's a
need
great class. I've taken it.
you need to know how much your expenses are. Dana makes it clear. You can't necessarily go by inflation either, because
Mhm.
that's not 100% accurate either. It should be minimal, okay? It should be the minimum point, but there's things in our business that inflation may not, account for. Shipping costs, all right? Things that are having, supply chain issues. Those are driving the cost of things that much more so than the inflation index. Okay, so I would say the inflation index is the starting point.
Yeah, that's your minimum line right there.
And you also have to make sure you're priced properly to start. So yes, your expenses and stuff, but if you're starting off wonky, then yeah, you're going to have bigger increases and stuff too, which yes, the inflation and going from there.
Okay, Jessie says she's a new at-home groomer. How do I guess my expenses? Okay, do you have a local chamber of commerce? All right, so there's going to be sort of like expenses that are like general, like water, electricity, insurance, supplies, okay? Plus your own expenses, because you know what? You're not a charity, right? So you need to make enough. Talk to other at-home groomers. Find out what some of the expenses are. Like I said, that IRS publication 535. Go through that list, okay? See what applies to you and what you need to at least do your best guesstimate on it.
And don't forget about disposable expenses too, like cotton balls and trash bags and Ziploc bags and pens and index cards and business cards and like the little ridiculous things.
Okay, Jamie's going to be, I'll see you. Take both. Take both classes.
They're both really good.
Okay. People tend to think at home. No,
because it's still a job.
Mm-hmm.
So do you now, me being me, because I'm kind of a turd sometimes, somebody had made a comment about that, about an at-home groomer should be much less expensive. And I said, oh, don't you work from home? And they said, well, yeah. And I said, oh, did they pay you less to do that? Weirdly, they shut up. Because like I said,
for the most part, I work from home. Okay. But there's expenses to everything that I do. So it doesn't matter where you're located. All right. You still are a business and you still have business expenses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The only
Just because you're
expense
not
that
commuting 45 minutes doesn't mean squat.
yeah, there's wear and tear in your house. Your zoned differently. Your taxes are going to be different.
Mhm.
Okay. So yes, please charge as if you are a business. And I think some of the highest priced groomers I know are home-based groomers.
Mhm.
And
There's a
it should
group.
be.
There is a group. There's two groups, in fact, on home-based groomers. Um, so if anyone is here that has, I'm home-based, I built my shop and it costs, yes. All right. There's
Yep.
expenses. All right, Tommy.
Good night,
I
Tommy.
see Tommy's quitting before Angie.
Dedication, man. But there's questions, and it is a specialty niche. And personally, I don't think there should be any price difference between a salon and a home groomer. Why? Just because you have a shorter commute? Whoopie doodle.
Right.
Okay. Yes, it's a specialty. I mean, you have people in your home. You know why I'm not a home-based? Was never a home-based groomer? Because I don't want people in my house. That's
Yep.
end of discussion.
Yep.
House call is massive luxury. Oh my god. You should be charging like 3 times what I'm charging. And mobile should be too. They
Mhm.
come to your house.
Yep.
And the thing is
I
with
couldn't
house
do it.
groomers, I honestly think you ought to be more expensive than mobile groomers. Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm contained. I'm not hauling stuff up anyone's stairs. I'm not
Yep.
setting up in anyone's house.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't know. I give you guys huge props. I could never do that. I would be
Okay, Dana,
freaking
no,
out the whole time.
you charge accordingly. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, seriously. I want nobody in my house. Okay, I have an office that's separated from the house, and I do have some classes here, but that is not the same thing as people grooming. I'm grooming, and someone is sitting here in my house. I know, please
No.
no.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. No. No, I give you guys huge props. I couldn't do it, and I certainly couldn't be going into someone's house that I didn't know because I don't trust people that much.
Mm-mm.
I just don't. Um, no. There's too many crazy people out there. I like they come in the salon, they drop the dog off, and then they go away.
Go away.
Right.
Bye.
Oh, okay. So, and Donna, here's the thing. Let's talk briefly on insurance. Okay, you need to have a separate business policy, not an addendum to your house. Okay. And the reason for that is that the addendums to a homeowner's insurance, those numbers are small. Okay. You can get much better business policy. Yes, it's going to get what you pay for. Okay. But you're better protected with a business policy. So, like here in my house, I have my homeowner's insurance. I have a separate business policy for my business that covers people who come in my house on those few occasions they are allowed in here.
And make sure you look at how much because remember, we had that discussion about, oh, well, I have $10,000 insurance. Well, come to find that was $1,000 per incident, 10,000 aggregate, which means total for the year.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. They're only gonna pay $1,000? What if the dog jumps out of the tub and breaks his leg and it's 12 grand? Well, you're in deep horse
Oh,
bucky.
okay. So we're going to finish up with this, and we can always continue this for next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk discounts. No, please don't do discounts. One of the biggest mistakes I made out of the gate was discounts. And I'm really glad that those people who got the discount were price shoppers and I priced them out of my really quickly. Okay. So no, you do not offer. It is not something I offer. And you don't have to explain yourself. Sounds like, ooh, discounts there, right? Ooh. You do not have to explain yourself.
Mm-mm.
We don't offer multiple dog discounts. End of discussion.
And
This is-
if you feel like you have to say something, you can always use my line. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't do that here. What else can I do for you? Yeah, because like I said, I'm a turd. And I'm okay with it. Yeah, there's lots of things I don't do at my salon. And I just say, I'm sorry, that's not a service I offer. Or I'm
Mhm.
sorry, we don't do that here. And you can say that. And you literally, and then shut up. Stop talking.
Right.
Because then they go, and you can't argue with someone who's not saying anything. And you just let them.
Yes. So Range Rover doesn't. Does Range Rover even offer a sale? I mean, Toyota. I can get Toyota-thon. Is there a Range Rover-a-thon? I doubt it.
I don't think so.
All
I
right.
don't think so. I have a Ford. I don't remember getting a Fordathon either. So
So yes, and here's the thing: you're not too expensive. All right. I'm sorry you cannot afford my services.
Ooh, Mary, what about that for next week? Client communication on delivering these things.
Okay,
The
let's discuss.
hard things.
Let's discuss. Yes.
Let's do that.
Okay.
That's-
And
yeah.
we're going to stick to a half hour next week because oh wait, hold on a second. You know what next week
Are we
is?
doing it?
Yeah, next week is Valentine's Day, and that is my anniversary.
Oh,
Okay, not next week.
and then I leave super early for Pasadena. So
Okay, so yeah, no, we will not be here next week. All right. Unlike Angie, I have boundaries. Okay.
I have boundaries, but if I say I'm going to do something, I'm
Not
gonna
when you
do
have
it.
104-degree.
Yeah, but I
fever.
have lupus. I have 104-degree temperature for like months at a time.
Yeah, no.
That's called life.
We will be back on the 21st. Okay.
with client communication stuff.
Client communication stuff. With client communication stuff.
So how many years, Mary?
Oh my God. 43.
Damn. Congratulations.
Yes.
That is very impressive.
So, all right, everybody, Angie, go to bed.
Yes.
That is the actual on my agenda.
Check.
TJ's gonna go out and go pee-pees, and I'm going nights.
Good night. We will see everybody
Good night, everyone.
in 2 weeks. Susan, in Pet Groomer Town Hall. In fact, what's already scheduled is that we're going to be here next week. So totally ignore that. I will delete it once it actually publishes. Okay. But in 2 weeks, so it's always announced in the morning in Pet Groomer Town Hall. And then when I think of it during the day, I will post it on my profile.
And then I usually go, oh yeah, what's the topic again?
Right.
And then Mary tells me because I already forgot.
Yeah, no, it's written down here, so we're good. Okay, so that'll be after Pasadena.
Yep.
All right. So, and Denise and I will both be at Pasadena.
Come see us.
If I am not teaching, you'll find me at the California Professional Pet Groomers booth.
If I'm not teaching, I'll be at Cosmos or I'll be at Barclays Pet Pro Cruise booth that will be debuted. So, yeah.
I'll be
nice.
waving to you from the Arctic North.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 70-degree weather.
Yes.
Okay. Good night, everybody. See you in
Good
2
night.
weeks.